Hi, everyone. Welcome to the AP Podcast, brought to you by AP International, a global leading logistics and transportation solutions provider, helping businesses manage their supply chains more efficiently.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the AP Podcast.
Today we will be hosting our third episode of the AP Podcast, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to my colleague, Mr. Francis Martel, whom will be co-hosting today's discussion with me.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Francis.
Thank you for the invite.
It's a real pleasure. Francis and I are very much excited to present to you today's guest, whom has an exceptional life course. Some of you might already know her, so without further ado,
Miss Chantal Petitclerc. Hi Chantal, welcome to the AP Podcast.
Hello, it's good to talk to you. Thank you.
We're the ones thanking you.
we are aware that your schedule is busy, and we appreciate you taking the time of joining us today and sharing your thoughts about today's topics. We're most certain that our listeners and members of the AP community will enjoy what you have to say. So before going any further, and for those whom are not familiar with Ms. Petitclerc's background, Chantal was a professional athlete who participated at the Olympic Games, the Paralympics, and the Commonwealth Games. She won a total of 21 medals, 14 of which were gold medals at the Paralympics Games, practicing wheelchair racing. She's now a member of the Canadian Senate since 2016. So, Chantal, can you talk to us about both your personal and professional journey?
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here. And it's been it's been a very unique journey. I mean, I had an accident when I was 13-year-old, and that's when I started sport. Just, after my accident, as a way to gain back some strength and autonomy. And a few years after, I started wheelchair racing, and it really was the beginning of a great adventure. And it took me to 5 Paralympic Games and 21 medals and amazing experiences. I think at the time I just fell in love with the sport and what it brought to me, but I'm not sure that I knew how it was going to unfold and what it was going to bring to my life. So I've been very privileged.
Wow. And today, now being a member of the Senate of Canada, can you explain why this transition?
Well, yeah.
To politics.
Yes, it's a bit. Yes, it certainly is different. When I did retire after Beijing 2008, I did a number of things professionally. I was a coach for the UK team for the London Games, and I was chef de mission for Canada for the Rio Games, taking care of Team Canada for those games. And I've been also a keynote speaker for years, doing some motivational speaking in some businesses. And so I guess I was at the time where I was looking for a new professional challenge, and it just happened that it was also the time when the government or the Prime Minister Trudeau was looking into having a new way to appoint senators and make sure that the Senate would become less partisan, more independent Senate. And so that's when they came up with some sort of a independent selection committee, and being an advocate for sport, for physical literacy for health and a person with a disability. I was contacted by this independent selection committee and later on appointed as a senator. So it's been a very different challenge, but I feel so fortunate and privileged to have this responsibility, and I take it very seriously.
Thanks. And also, what do you think about businesses opening up more to diversity? When we say diversity, we say companies hiring different age groups, gender, handicap, and different cultures.
People from different cultures.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of companies from different sizes, whether small, medium size, larger companies that are more open to and that have more tendency to hire different people, younger people, more women within companies, handicapped people, and different kinds of handicap. It doesn't apply to one only in different cultures.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think, well, I'm a strong believer that diversity is always a strength and never a weakness. And I think when you look through history, it's very interesting to see how not that long ago there wasn't much diversity in society, and especially in the corporate world, whether big businesses or just small organizations. And I think what I find interesting is that it came at the beginning because many groups fought for it, but also because there was a thought that it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to include women. It is the right thing to include racialized minorities, persons with disabilities. And what I like to see in the past few years, and it's growing, is that we're not doing it because it's a good thing, but we're doing it because, well, because it pays, because it makes organization more performant. And I'm not the one saying it. There's more and more studies and data proving that no matter the size of the organization, the more diverse it is, the more productive it is, and the more the results are there. And I believe in that. I think being exposed to diversity, of course, it takes us either individually or as groups. It takes us to out of our comfort zone, that's for sure. It forces us to open our mind and to kind of just face some fears that we may have. But in the end, we get better and we get stronger as individuals, but also as organizations. So I think this trend will only continue, and that's great, but also that it will get easier, because everybody, and myself, I'm the first one, even if I'm a person coming from diversity as a person with a disability, when I first started in the Senate, I was overwhelmed with the number of individuals from different provinces, different background, different age group, different traditions, and it really took me out of my comfort zone at times. But when I look back, I think it is one of the greatest experience in my life, and it's made me a better person, but also it's made me more competent, and it has enriched my own expertise, and I will use that in everything else that I will do. So I'm a strong believer that diversity is always a strength.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. The we have two remaining questions for you. The third one is regarding to your position at the Senate of Canada. I'm sure we just did the episode in French. As I'm sure, as I said, I'm sure there's some things that can't be disclosed from the Senate, and that's absolutely fine. But we're wondering about because the AP podcast is one that's about logistics and transportation, we wanted to bring this within the Senate of Canada. So what's the challenges that are incurred within the Senate? Could be with the COVID-19 crisis, could be in terms of communications difficulties. So just us hosting this podcast at distance, using a Zoom as a video conference platform. So you with your colleagues, not overseas, but elsewhere than in Quebec, the different time zones, the international trades. So the previously known NAFTA, the agreements we have with Canada and Europe, and the border being closed, the U.S.-Canada border being closed. These are all humongous challenges for you guys at the Senate. I'm sure.
Yes.
What's your position about this?
Yes. Well, I think the Senate and even the House of Commons, they are very old institutions in very old buildings, and with some procedures that are, in the rules and practice, and that are at some level very traditional, and so there is a sense of making sure that we stay with our times. And I think the COVID-19 crisis really made us aware in the Senate that we're a little bit behind when it comes to technology. And when, for example, there was a motion passed to make sure that the Social Affairs Committee, the committee that I chair, would meet to oversight this government response to the pandemic. Well, it took weeks to get up and running because we just didn't have the technology, we didn't have the practice, we didn't know how to do it in a matter of time zone, distance, translation, keeping it secure. So there was a realization that maybe it is important to make sure that we are efficient when it comes to the practice of the Senate and technologically with our time. So I think when you look at it, this pandemic has been a tragedy, and it still is. But somehow, when we think about the Senate and Parliament meeting, we were able to turn it in an opportunity to make sure that we could continue to function and do our work even with those challenges. So my hope is that in the future, we will not wait for something bad to happen, but we will be, this will make us aware that it's important to always be in touch with best practices, whether it's logistic or whether it's technology. We just need to make sure that we stay aware and on top of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I always agree with what you're saying.
I like it.
Which this brings us to our last question. As I was saying in French, this is the question. It's the one I still have the shivers. It's having you is an absolute. It's an honor. But we have to talk about the Olympic Games, and we have to we wanted to connect it to logistics. So having, I wish, like I could only wish I was on site at one, or I'll be in the future at one, not necessarily Olympic Games, but to like an international competition, just to be on site to look at the different, like the different elements that are attached to logistics. So as I said in French, when I was watching the Olympic Games from home with my family on TV, we're watching the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, the different competitions. You're zero aware of all the back work of everything, like the all the athletes when they walk in, not on the field, but during the opening ceremony, everything is staged, everything is organized to the very most like precise element. Everything is calculated.
Coordinated.
When you won the your first gold medal, I don't know if you knew, but some people like the media's were all waiting for you to ask me questions. But like you're winning your first medal, okay, where do I go? Okay, well, everything is organized to the letter. So being on site and having participated at different different competitions, what's your side on the logistics challenges about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Paralympics and Olympics is really it could be used to teach the importance and difficulty and challenges of good logistics, because it's the base, you know, like when you when you are organizing Paralympics, everything needs to be so well structured, organized, planned, and I'm very convinced that it is really essential to make sure that the Olympics go well. I can talk about when I was an athlete, but I can also talk about when I was chef de mission, because it really made me aware of everything that was happening in the back. And the logistic, I find, is really, you know, if you think about it, it's like a skeleton, you know, and if it's not solid, if it's not, like, you cannot build nothing solid around it. And so in the end, you want to make sure that you plan, you think, you create, you practice, you execute. And when the athletes and the teams arrive, it is so well done that the athletes can focus only on their performance and their goal, and they have nothing that will be an irritant or challenge. And that's really the plan, but it takes so much work. And when you get there as an athlete, you forget about, you know, the person that you don't even know about, the person who planned the transport mall and the transport zone and the timing, and needed to evaluate, you know, with the competition and the training schedule, what exactly would work best. But if it's done well, it makes a huge difference, and it allows you as an athlete to really focus on what you want to do, and that is key. But I think the example is you know, it's amazing and it's big when you think about the Olympic, but it can apply to every single thing that and every single business and company and organization, you know. If the logistics is well planned, if someone thought about timing and you know, resting areas uh, and there's so many things that can be thought about. What happens is that the individual that gets into your organization with their task and potential and talent, expertise and drive and ambition, well, they will be able to perform what is required for them to the best of their ability, but with the best performance environment. And that's what you're trying to create, is what is the best performance environment, whatever that performance will be. And no organization should downsize the importance of this, because feeling like you have everything that you need to give your best is the base of everything, you know. It's true for athletes, and you can see it because it's a difference within, you know, between a medal and no medal, but it's true for everybody in your organization.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Chantal, this has been honestly, this has been a true pleasure. It's been an honor. Thanks for sharing your thoughts about the different questions we asked you today. We again, we'll repeat ourselves. It's the only authentic way to do things. Thank you. We now see you. We see you on the camera.
Yes, I was trying to make priority for sound because it was a bit choppy on my hand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
On,
again.
on
Thank
behalf
you.
of Sam and I, we appreciate it. I hope our listeners, this is for you.
Hope
we hope you
enjoy.
We hope you guys have the shippers as much as we do. Chantal, just to come back to you, we don't know each other personally. I hope maybe we'll get to, but I realized that I realized I understand so many more things that I thought I did before. It just clears everything up in an easy way, and it pushes us. I don't know. I'm motivated. I feel like I should
Thank you.
But you're someone, not to be cheesy or anything, but you're someone special, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Mr. Trudeau chose you within his organization. We'll call it this one.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
Thanks for what you're doing for the country. We have
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
We're proud to have you on the Senate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow, what a great discussion we had. Thanks again to Miss Petitclerc, and thank you to all our listeners and the members of the AP community for listening and downloading the AP podcast. You can find it on Spotify as well as Apple Podcast. You can also find us on apinternational.ca, AP International on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. Thanks again. Stay safe and see you next time.